Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. Sound check, vibe check, mic check. How's everybody doing? Give me a thumbs up, please. Everybody. Hello. So it's casual Friday. Ask Me Anything Friday. A lot of really fun stuff to play around with. Just a little bit of an update on what happened with me as far as funding. I burnt the account that I was like $200, to target with, because of course I let that tilt. But then, interestingly enough, I took a second account. I traded pure momentum flow, two minis, single target, and I funded it in one trade. And it's just sort of open up the idea to me that yes, news trading obviously is very, very easy for us to work with, but there's lots of times during the day, especially like the 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. time frame, where if we have our momentum structures in place, we could literally do a single trade unidirectional move and get ourselves funded. Bottom line is, I have another funded account that I can play with for right now, but that's not really the interesting thing. I mean, we all know how to get funded in one trade, which is relatively straightforward. What is really, really interesting, and where I kind of wanted to share stuff with you today, is there are two basic setups that I trade, that you and I trade together. I'll go through them step by step for a lot of people who are new in the room, because it's Friday, so it's probably a lot of new people in the room just kind of joining us. I'll walk through everything, and then I'm going to add a really interesting wrinkle and show you what I'm doing. So the first setup that I trade, we're going to call this white green, and it's just because it's a shorthand for both the long and the short. The short version of this is purple red, but the white green setup is the very, very simple idea, and we generally always want to do it, not necessarily always, but most of the time, when we have the ICT order block support. So we're in a buy ICT order block structure, right? Or we have a structure underneath us, and we have a white dot, green dot, we go long. That's the general trade. And conversely, we have a purple dot. Let me just do this over here. Here's an example. We have a purple dot, red dot, we go short. So it's a sequence of the two dots. I wonder if here we go. It's a sequence of two dots. They don't have to be together. They don't have to be even consecutive. So in other words, you can have a purple dot, a whole bunch of other dots, green dots, white candles, whatever. As long as there's a sequence of purple, red, you can go short. As long as there's a sequence of white, green, you can go long, right? And you really, ideally, you want it to be supported by the in the direction of the order block. If you like right now, we have a order block here. This is a white green trade, so on and so forth, right? So that's one momentum setup that we have. The other momentum setup I have, I calling it pull away, but it's basically a white candle or purple candle, and the structure here is actually very, very distinct. What you're looking for is no sort of a neutral candle, any kind of a candle aside from a white candle with a green dot behind it. So you need to have a green dot and a white candle, but prior to it, you can't have this. You can't have two of them together. It has to be from no momentum state into momentum state. That's basically it. Once you go from no momentum state to into momentum state, that's a great upside trade with the buy block confirming. Now, in this case, you really do want the ICT order block confirming. The white candle, green candle is very often a turn trade. So you could be coming from a very, very steep sell-off. It hasn't really formulated a support level, a buy level. It's a transition trade. A lot of times, it's both a retrace trade in a transition trade. So if you're in a deep, deep uptrend and there's a little bit of a sell-off and it comes back up, then it works. And if you're in a transition from a selling to a buying or from a buying to a selling, that also works. So the ICT order block, not as vital to this, but absolutely critical to the pull away trade. And they're both momentum trades, and they make it very, so basically the idea is when momentum comes into play, that's when you want to put it into play, right? But I have added a really interesting wrinkle. Now I can't share this wrinkle with you because it is something that I have to. It's not anything universal, and it's not anything I can make programmatically just yet. I'll be able to figure out a way to do this. So for now, the only way you're going to be able to see this data is just when you're trading live with me. And I'll actually be what I'll do is I'll probably publish this data publicly so you can have a reference source. But what I did is I went to Claude and I said, I want you to test each strategy, the pull away strategy and the white green strategy, every single hour on the 24-hour basis with a 10 target, 20 stop structure. And then give me the results. And then, and I have the whole table of results. And then I took that table of results and I put it into my own version of Pine script. This is, my own private. It's essentially the dots with ICT order blocks, but just my own modified private version, so that I can watch every single hour. This is the 9 o'clock hour. What are my odds? And the reason why this is so interesting, and obviously, remember I kept telling you that the 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock hour are really, really horrible hours. First of all, this really is going to confirm to you just how horrible most of these hours are, for certain structures, right? But it's also going to give you some super interesting ideas. Oh shit! I just actually missed the trade. Fuck! I'm sorry. I should have taken this pull away trade. It's also going to give you enormous amount of super interesting ideas of going against the setup. So you may have seen me a little bit earlier here doing this. Let me see if I can put this up. You had a white dot, green dot, and I was actually selling them. I was like going the exact opposite my setup. Why was I going against opposite my setup? Well, first of all, I was using sort of a very, very small five-point target, 15-point stop, kind of a very small, counter strategy scalp idea. But I was doing it because you can see that the white-green setup, the white candle, this white dot, green dot setup fails almost 50% of the time. It's a horrible, horrible setup during this time. So somebody's failure is somebody else's success in speculation, right? For every loser, there's a winner. So that means we could take lemons and turn them into lemonade. We could take, the times when the setup is kind of shitty, and not just and take advantage of it going the opposite way for small scalps. And that's exactly what I did here. And actually, statistically worked out very, very nicely. Now on the pull away function, we're now at the 9 o'clock hour. You see, 9 o'clock hour is also horrible, horrible, horrible for the white dot, green dot setup. It's barely break even, barely 50%, which means that it's going to fail quite a lot of times, which means it's going to succeed if we do it the opposite quite a lot of times, especially if we're going to do sort of short scalps, right? But the pull away setup, the idea of a no candle, like a purple dot candle in this one is all quite good. I will say one very important thing and why this particular setup is not one I would take. The pull away number, this number that you're looking at, has two embedded assumptions in it, which are not obvious here. The first assumption is that it cannot be a purple dot. It has to be a red pull. It has to be a purple candle and a red dot. It has to be lower momentum, and it has to have an order block. If it's a sell one, it has to have a sell order block above it. If it's a buy one, it has to have a buy order block there. So there's two assumptions in this particular statistic that are not completed by whatever we're seeing over here. So there really aren't. These are not really a viable pull away trades. In fact, they're pretty good fadeable trades. They're pretty good trades the other way around. So the whole idea is that you could totally you could totally change your positioning based upon whatever the stats of the hour are to give you, the better edge. In other words, does the setup work? Yes, then you go with the setup. Is the setup generally, really pretty? This is like the worst hours for the setup. Then the more intelligent thing is to either do nothing or go against the setup for short counter setup structures. And that's what makes it so interesting as an idea. It just opens up lots and lots of possibilities for us as a structure. Now, I'm looking over here. This is a pull away trade right over here, right? You seeing what time is it? It's 9:15. It hasn't fully materialized. It has 2 out of 3 components satisfying it, which may be worthwhile for us to just take. Which I'm going to take sell market. Let's just see if this stays, because we know this is a 7 out of 10 statistically strong setup. What we don't have is we just don't have the sell order block behind us, but we do have red dot, purple dot. We're basically going to make the bet that yes, it's going to extend a little bit. And remember, this is handicapped on a 10-20 basis, and we're just right now just really trading it very tight on a 5-15. Just trying to see if we could take the meat of the trade as much as possible. Just take the absolute easiest part of the trade as possible and see if it works for us. And there you go. And another statistically driven trade that helps us stay on the right side of it. So I think what's fascinating about it is we can use statistics to trade against our setup when the setup really doesn't work. Now, there are hours in a day, like for example, London Open, 4:00 in the morning, when this setup is 8 out of 10, and you literally can see it, and it's incredible. It really is just astounding at how good it is. And all you do is just let me show this to you on a separate chart. Let me just go on a full chart here. You could just scalp it forever here. Actually, I wonder if I go into replay, if this will show this to me. That's fascinating. I wonder if this is encoded. Oh, this would be very, very cool. Let's see if this actually works, guys. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look, you see this? You see how the pull away and the white green setups are super, super high accuracy setups, right? So let's walk us through and see if they worked. So here we have a white dot, green dot. We're long over here, 310. Does that work? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Right? White dot, green dot. Does it work? Yes, it does. You see how the statistics kind of help you have the confidence to trade better. Now, as I'm looking at all of this, I think it's not. I want to get a little bit stronger, deeper statistics. And remember, this is a small statistics set. You're not going to, it's the most recent data, right? And I think to really trade this well, you actually only want last 4 weeks of data. You don't want 55. The most interesting. This answers the question of what's happening now. That's what you're interested in. You don't care what happened in 1975 when President Nixon was in office in terms of price action, because it has zero impact on what's going to be happening right now in this instant in terms of dynamics. So I think I may actually update this for you guys. I'm going to just beef up the data a little bit deeper as far as the data set goes, and maybe put out like a little informational dot over here. So if you hover over it, it will tell you exactly what this data is saying, what the rule set is, and give you an idea of how you can trade it. And that'll be really, really helpful for you, for those of you guys who are watching it on TradingView. But it's cool, right? I mean, it's really, really cool. It does inform you quite well on what the possibilities are. There's actually another one setting up right now, right? Which we probably should give a shot to. Let me see. Join ask. Yep, there it is. We're in the trade. Let's see if we can get 5 more points to the downside. because this is red dot. The only thing this is missing, which I'm playing a little bit fast and loose with, is I don't have a sell. I don't have a sell order block against this. So maybe maybe it'll go against me. We'll see. But the ultimate question you're asking every single time you're placing a trade is continuity or non-continuity, discontinuity. I'm betting on continuity or non-continuity. So in this particular case, I'm basically betting on continuity. I'm betting on the fact that we have more selling rather than less selling. And then when you have the data against you, you're betting on discontinuity. You're betting that there is no more directionality in whatever direction you took. So yeah, it's sort of. I thought it was kind of very, very interesting. We get a chance to to play around with this. Obviously, all the other techniques help us out. We trade with small size. If we need to do repairs, we can easily do repairs on these trades. I'm going to try to run the well charts account. I'm going to use basically TradingView as my analytics dashboard, and try to run this on well charts accounts. And the game plan is always just like, hey, let's try to run an account $100, for the day, and then move on to the next one, and just kind of just compound them that way. So this one may not, but remember, it's not 100%. It's 7 out of 10. So you still, even if you have stats on your side, you're still going to be wrong. The point is that you're going to be wrong less than. The point is you have the edge on the continuity side versus the discontinuity side, right? The other thing is I fully realize that I am improvising a little bit here, but I think that's the really important point, because the single most important point to understand about all of this is there is no such thing as a strategy. There's only a statistical idea. Like all these strategies are telling you is that if you did this yesterday, this would be your results. It is in no way, shape, or form telling you that if you did this today, this would be your results, right? You're kind of making that assumption on a recency bias. You're saying, well, if my results were like this yesterday, it's likely that my results would be like this today. But I think this is where people always make a mistake on strategies. They think that they are some kind of sacrosanct rules. They're just guidelines to make you make more intelligent decisions in the heat of the battle. It's just battle intelligence to see if things are going to work for you or not. It's not in any way, shape, or form a guarantee of success. And so that's why I think it's perfectly okay to take that, incorporate that into your trading plan, but obviously modify it to whatever way you like it. I mean, some of you may want to modify the exact opposite way and say, hey, this is telling me it's a pretty decent decent bet directionally. I'm actually going to do super positive risk reward. I'd rather win 3 out of 10 times, but at 3x, 3x my win. All depends on how you want to structure your trades and everything else. But this just gives you the data to be able to do those things. Doesn't look like, by the way, this thing is going to work. I'm going to flatten myself out. Just there's no this particular. Usually, the other thing is these kind of trades you want them to work within 3 candles. They're not working within 3 candles. Fine. We'll reorient ourselves and find a better setup in the next 5-10 minutes. As I said, 7 out of 10 doesn't mean 10 out of 10, but at least it gives you a good idea of how to trade. Now, watch this thing now go there and hit my target inevitably. But what time is it? We got 5 minutes to the open. The interesting thing that I kind of want to show you is that the white green structure is still very weak this whole hour. it's a, it's a 56% win. So we have a couple of those. We might be able to take the opposite side of those and see how they play out. For now, things are kind of a little quiet. Happy Friday. You like the charts? I'm glad you like the charts. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Say hello to me if you're new in the room. We're chilling. I don't have anything to do, so I'm going to try and trade with you to the 11 o'clock hour, maybe even later beyond 11, because data really changes throughout these hours, and the opportunities really change up and down the coast. Oh, there we go. Market. Oh, no, not quite a market open. Here's what, here's an interesting thing for us to test. We have the white dot coming up, right? Now, what's interesting about this is that this is actually a pull away trade against a buy block, but it doesn't have a green dot. So like 2 out of 3 of these conditions embedded in here, but not all of them. I'm playing with the idea of like, do I want to take this? Because the pull away trade really has a lot of continuity built into it. Maybe I'll take a small bite. We'll see if it can give me a small bite out. See if it extends. There we go. And so there's a lot of going on in this particular setup that I kind of just wanted to walk you through. This is telling me it's a 71, it's basically 72% chance that it'll extend at least 10 points. And I have 5 points as my kind of target here. Is this a pull away trade? Yes. Does it have a green dot on it? No. Is there a green block behind it? Yes. The green block, the ICT green block, when it comes to pull away trades, is the single most important filter. Like, pull away trades work really well with the buy block behind them, or conversely, the sell block behind them once you have them. So because I didn't have the green dot, but I had the 2 of the 3, and the most important of the 2 or 3, I went with that component. Now, what's ironic, by the way, is that once that trade completed, right, we're actually now in the white dot, green dot kind of a trade. And if you had faded this move, you had sold the 62s, you actually would have made the 5 points to the downside. Like it clipped against you to the opposite side. But obviously, I'm trading the one forward direction of the original trade that I'm taking. And very often the 2 trades will intertwine between each other. But once you understand what the statistics are behind these structures, it really gives you a much greater sense of operating, in the environment with the best information that you possibly can. That's really what it's about. It's just putting that information in your fingertips. The more I think about it, by the way, guys, I think it's totally possible for me to add this this table for everybody, because even though it's a static piece of data, first of all, it does work on. I didn't realize it actually worked on replay. You can actually watch the replay functions and see how you would have traded those ideas. And secondly, we can always just simply refresh and update data once a month, right? So we'll go back. This will be like, we can actually say May data on the thing. So we're operating off May data, and then at the end of June, we can say we're operating off June data, and that gives you a much easier, cleaner idea. All right, it's 9:30. Market is actually very, very quiet. We have I'm going to get rid of all these charts. So I go. It's finally so white dot, green dot on this thing. Now, if you have balls, if you have super big balls, I was going to say, you would short one of these things, but actually the 9 o'clock. Yeah, is this 9 o'clock? Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. You would, the only problem with trying to short this thing is that you would have been stopped out on the spike move, because you have to give so much room here. This is like a 30 point swing either way, up and down on the move. So the intelligent thing is obviously not to trade the setup in any way, shape, or form, because it's just too volatile in the open. But it did fail. White dot, green dot actually is extended, but then failed, right? When you look at it on the trade. Overall, market is still very, very positive. It's still a very positive bias. And this particular hour, the continuity trades that we want to look at is the pull-away trades. We don't have a pull-away, because a pull-away trade requires a no pull-away candle and then a pull-away candle, right? Little momentum, big momentum. Here it's just printing all momentum, to the upside. So we just sit tight. We don't have anything to do. Broke through the New York session highs. Broke through the London session highs, through all the highs. Sorry, let me just. This needs to be adjusted. There we go. Yeah, touching the London high, exactly. We're through the London high. We blew up on that. So there's still a lot of volatility here. This is a kind of a pause candle. And we'll see if the market wants to do any pull-away trades a little bit later. Also, like the really cool thing about the data set is it tells you this is a really bad hour for continuity. So if it's a bad hour for continuity, you could do a little riffing. You're like, oh, they stalled over here. That means it's probably some interesting discontinuity possible. Like I would have shorted this off this candle, because it showed a little bit of discontinuity. It was easy. It would have been an easy clip here. if you were willing, just to riff off the data. But for now, if we're gonna stick to our setups and just simply stick to the general strategy using the data set as a guide point, we'll try to be a little bit more, less improvisational. So, guys, I'm thinking like we're definitely going to do the really, really great hours for these strategies. Maybe even starting next week. Like, we're going to do London Open trading. I'm going to do a lot more lives. Maybe a little bit less, like, less longer lives, but more frequent lives throughout the day. Like, we'll do like an hour, 4 to 5 London Open, or even like 4 to 5:30 London Open. 8 to 9 New York Open. Ideally, I'm trying to get Kate to leave me alone and let me trade the 10 to 11 hour. The 10 to 11 hour is a really, really good hour to trade. I know everybody loves to wake up and get ready for the Open and trade the Open, but honestly, the 9 to 10 hour, just literally the world's worst hour to trade, because there is no direction. There's just chop, and it's very, very volatile chop. So even if you're right on the trade, you're going to be wrong on the move, right? So, okay, here we go. White dot, white dot, green dot. Can we try to fade this move a little bit? Let's see. Session high, I think, is like around 426. That's where it would extend to. We have 9:45 PMI manufacturing data, I think, coming up also. All right, white dot, green dot. Let's see how good we are. Boom, resolved, right? You see that? Now, again, I'm just betting on the fact that the counter momentum force here is pretty strong during this hour. There's a lot of retrace. Now, again, I'm not trying to pull out of money. I'm trying to just, scalp, consistently, but hey, I'll take it, And I'm doing this ultra small because I'm kind of just experimenting with you guys in the same fashion as we're all looking. You don't need to be here, but obviously you could have been larger in every one of these scalps and more meaningful if you wanted to be. You could even and this is the thing that's I think is kind of interesting. It's definitely a more higher risk approach, but you could just simply say, you know what, this is the shit hour. I'm going to take one account. I'm going to trade it like half lot or even full lot on just fadeable trades that 530, and generally, like literally, I think 100% of the white green dots faded, right? 100% of the white green dots faded, were fadeable during this hour. So that means you just you could have hit like $300 account and done. Yeah, Chicago PMI coming up at 9:45. See if anything going on here. But you see how, like, look at this. You see, you're all gearing up for momentum, and you actually selling that dot, which was what the high of that was 33, and the absolute low here was 15. You actually had a 15-point move back against your position. I only took 5 of it, but the idea being is that you see the data is against you. You can flip the strategy to make it work by doing the exact opposite, because everything is binary. We're either we're either trading continuity or discontinuity. So you could try to make money either way, depending on how you want to position yourself. And that's where it gets interesting. So now this, when you're looking at it, this is a pull away trade. 27 seconds left. If it holds, it's a pull away trade with a buy support and everything else. We're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna try and trade it to the. Now we're gonna trade it to the upside, and see if it gives us some continuity. Now, obviously, it's got to stay a pull away trade, and it doesn't. It does. We're gonna let it wait. See if it pulls. Well, there we go, and it did work. I just waited very patiently. It wasn't exactly the world's greatest pull away trade, but again, a little bit of scalp goes a long way, right? Oh, actually, cool. Now I'm at 800, right? Next $100 point, $100. So now I'm going to go to this one. Just take this one to 700, then just keep rotating. The whole idea is just to take it to the next 100, take it to the next 100, so you can go. And by the way, look at this. The pull away trade actually worked really, really well, right? So data confirming, like having the data just gives you, it's by no means a panacea, but it is just a huge decision support, right? Do you guys agree? Do you think that would be useful for you guys to have that last month's data every hour by hour on whether which trade has worked, what the odds are for the trade working? Would you like me to add that to the indicator? By the way, spoke to Rob today. I think we have some really good news coming up on wealth charts, where in about a month we're going to be able to. They're going to open up wealth script to everybody, which means it's going to be really cool. We're going to be able to. I'm going to be able to update in real time for wealth charts in about a month, as I will for Tradingview. Peter likes it. Keith likes it. Anybody else? Who's new in the room today, guys? Carlos, what do you mean more of the same? You mean choppy, choppy, choppy? What, Carlos, New York, what are you saying to me? More of the same for what? All right, I think it's time for the second espresso, guys. It's that kind of day. It's a little quiet. Let's see what is it. Let's see what the headlines are. Actually, does this give me the headlines? Why is my thing? I guess we have to go over here. This thing is just off. Paulson, I see structural change in inflation. Blah blah. Market and open imbalance. Paulson is healthy for the markets to shift to a tighter monetary policy. All right, nothing. Nothing much over here. Go back over here. So yeah, pretty quiet day news flow wise. Iran is at a standstill, so we don't really have much anything to do. It could be one of those, range bound Fridays, but that's perfect. We'll just wait for our setups and sorry, I'm letting the espresso machine. The espresso machine is like the new ambulance. It makes the most noise. All right, it comes a white dot. White dot, green dot, if possible. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see if it's another. Here's white dot, green dot, right? So we are going to again bet on the fact that there'll be some discontinuity here if this holds. Oh, ooh, wow. Super. Wow. So we're running through the 470. I mean, clearly trying to inch our way towards the 500, which we may actually do, but we'll see. We'll see if that's going to be the run in the next hour or not. It's very tempted to do this intra candle, right? If you sort of know that that's going to be a failed setup, you want to try. You could have try to do this intra candle, but you don't want to get too cute with this stuff. No green dot, anyways. Just basically fails. So maybe actually it'd be interesting to see remember, this is not conditional at being sequential. So this thing could, if this becomes a green dot on the next one, that could be a fadeable move there. So Michael, are you listening to anything I'm telling you? Michael says these retraces are killing his asses. What did I just tell you about trading continuity this hour? Look at this red number. This should tell you everything you need to know. You should never be trading continuity, with the exception of maybe the pull away trade. But whatever you're trying to do on the continuity, it's going to work against you because that's the whole point. The 9 o'clock hour is the death valley of scalpers. This is where the scalpers go to die, unless you understand the data. You understand what I'm saying? Yes? Give me a yes. Tell me at least you understand that you're being foolish. Even on trying to fade it. Well, how are you trying to fade it? Remember, there's a very sequential, right now, we're going to fade this, assuming this stays a green dot, but only on candle completion. We haven't had a setup yet. About 5 seconds before the expiry, I'm going to put a join ask move here. Oh, I went right through it. I should have waited a little bit longer. Now, I'm going to get screwed on this. I got a bad execution. That was my fault. Yeah, this is continuity trade. Continuity trade. I really, I ate that. I should have been in here. That's fine. Small size. We'll get it on the next one. Aye. There we go. Sorry guys. I extemporaneously ran this because I knew I just got a bad execution on the move here. So I took a little bit back and I repaired the trade. But let me not get crazy. It's actually a pretty strong buying run towards the 3,500. Let's not get too nutsy on moving this. But by the way, you see that it's still kind of like a very poor number for continuity. So had you faded this one over here, it would have been an easy fade against you. So first one fails, second one completely, completes. That's what I mean about using the data to help you stay in the game and stay positive. I butchered this particular sequence a little bit badly, but hey, it's only the third or the fourth one. We have about 10 more to go. But yeah, I mean, the right way to trade it was, you get stopped, you wait if there's a secondary green dot, it would have been short here, larger size would have been fine. All right, we're moving into, soon we're going to move into the 10 o'clock hour. This is a another pull away candle. If it sets up, pause, pull away. In which case I will try to trade this to the long side. I actually, I'm a fool, guys. I'm sorry. I wasn't watching the chart. Look at, this is very, very important. You need to shift your focus to what it is that you're trading on the most recent question. So look at the mistake that I made. Let me see if you guys can figure out the mistake I made on this particular sequence. I'm going to start the sequence because this is really interesting for what I'm trying to show you. So here we go. This is a white dot, right? So now I'm like in a white dot, green dot mode, structure. But what is really happening as we get to this candle? What type of candle is this? Anybody tell me? What's this candle? What is this candle actually showing you? It is true. It's a sequence of a white dot, green dot sequence. But what is the candle itself showing you? Anybody can tell me? Come on. A free prop account to whoever tells me. Yeah, exactly. It's a pull away. It's an engulfing white dot, but it's also a pull away, Chris. The way we define pull away. And the pull away is a super strong signal for us. It's a 71% signal. We have the buy behind us, all of this. So the right dot pattern should have been to do continuity. And this is like why it's very important in the run. Like right now, this is a pull away if it holds, right? Really important to kind of understand what is it that we're trying to handicap. This is a pull away. I mean, if this holds, it's like 30 seconds left here. So we can go back here and see. It doesn't hold. I think we're dying in front of the 500 level. Is that what that is? Yeah, it's 95. This is a very, very problematic trade because this, everybody wants to run the 500 and then they're going to fade it right away. But hey, you know what? If it plays, we're going to take it. Yeah, we're going to take it. Let's see if they want to run it. I'm happy to take the bump. $98. See, can they break the 500? Come on. There we go. And they broke the 500. And again staying to my stats and taking it, right? So very, very cool. Like you zone in on what is the actual price action that's happening. Trade it against your data set, and then you're good to go. What time is it? It's 9:53. Wow, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. Holy shit. By the way, all this data set, I know you are like, where you may be in Adelaide or in Dubai or in Dubuque, but all of the data set is going to be against Eastern Standard Time. So like your own internal timeline may be very, very different, but it will I wonder, that'd be super interesting. You guys got to let me know. Like, and I wonder, I'm actually going to have to, I'm going to have to ask Claude. I'm going to have to see what this Pine script. Maybe I might have to put in a UTC function into this thing so that you guys don't get the wrong data. So that means it'll be UTC compliant, and it will pull the correct data for the correct timeline. And you guys are going to have to, you're going to have to give me some feedback on whether it's working, whether it's in sync with your data, because this is all against 9 o'clock. This is all against New York East Coast data. But anyway, it's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to trade with stats on your side, right? Not just setups, but setups plus stats. I think it really creates a much richer experience on the scalp side. Yeah, good for you, Ben. Listen, it takes a while to kind of trust. I think the irony of the whole thing is the better, the stronger the stats on your. If you have stats on your side, you actually do the right thing. Behaviorally, you tend to do the right thing because you tend to trust this. At least you're trusting some external source instead of your own inner voice. A lot of times. So I think it'll be really helpful. I mean, at least for some, at least for me, it is. But we'll see. If you guys feel that way. Astrologer, what are you saying? Change what? What did you mean by change? Anyways, is this one? No, I gotta get this one to 700. So I'm gonna try to get this to the next 100, and then just move over to the next account, and move that one to the next 100, so on and so forth. Just that's the great way of building the P&L. Just trade to the next 100, move over, trade to the next 100. That diversifies your risk. If you run into a bad streak, the accounts you've already made money on, move forward. It's like a game of chess. You sacrifice the pawns to move the kings. All right, now we are 2 minutes away, 3 minutes away from 10 o'clock. I wonder what the 10 o'clock hour data is going to be like. That'll be interesting to see. And I wonder if I can. I might be able to make it user configurable. So you could say, "Hey, I am at UTCX. Configure my hourly stats to my time." I think I'm going to be able to do that for you guys. Yeah, changing microstructure from pause to momentum continuing. Yeah, well, that's exactly what implicitly that's what we're doing right now, right? We're basically trading that, but we just reduced it to white dot, green dot. We just reduced it to visual cues because as human beings, we operate on the most elemental level, right? But the actual structural complexity here is what we've captured through the charts, through the algo, and through everything else. Because we're simple things, right? I'm a simple man. Oh my God. Yesterday, my son been in like an argument with me for like a week over something I had no idea about. And he explained it to me, and I'm like, oh, of course, if you had told me this is what you need and just said, I need you to do this and this and this, I would have been happy. He goes, you should have known. I go, okay, and I apologize to all the ladies in the room here, but ladies, this is really not how men think. So, I called him a little pussy. I said, "What happened to you? Did you just lose your lose your penis? Do you not understand that men never understand feelings? That men never, extrapolate feelings? That they're, you tell them what to do, you tell them how to do it, you tell them when to do it. They're very happy to do it. But for them to kind of, ascertain from how you were feeling about something, that you wanted something done in a non-communicative way, is the most female thing I've ever heard him say. So she started laughing at me like really, really hard, and we made up. But basically, ladies, for everybody who's listening, I know I sound like every woman in my life thinks I'm the worst misogynist, but trust me, if you want men to do something, all you have to do is literally fucking say it. Otherwise, they'll never do it, because they're not listening to you, they're not paying attention to you, and they have no idea what you're doing. White dot, green dot over here, kind of like I decided I'm going to switch because we're almost at the 10 o'clock hour. Okay, 10 o'clock hour, kind of interesting here. 10 o'clock hour is showing us this is still a weak setup, but look at the pull away data. The pull away data is really, really strong. This actually, by the way, white dot, green dot would have worked. I was just yapping away. Had I faded this move, it actually would have worked for us. It was 18 to 10 against us, but then it dropped like way against us. Now we have a pull away candle. So let's play this. 23 seconds left. Oh, pull away just went away. Why's the pull away gone away? Interesting. 3, 2, 1. Buy. All right, let's see if this is gonna work our way. Come on, baby. Come on. Come. Beautiful. Through the 700, next account, rotate. Rinse, repeat, rotate. All right, this one's gonna do a little bit of work because we got 148, so we're gonna work to 200. But that was good. Yeah. Thank you, hound dog. I know. Shaja, you like the dot. You like the simplicity, right? Change your microstructure from pause to nothing. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, baby, we can. You give us lemons, we'll make you lemonade. You give us caviar, we'll make you a 5-course meal. It all depends on how you want to interpret the dots. So very cool, by the way. You see how the data just totally updates on the hourly basis. So now we're what it does is it shifts our mindset into the right alignment with the market. Hopefully, instead of just every single hour we're doing the same thing, but the market is doing completely different things every single hour. So I think it's really, really cool. When you Michael says, when I hit my TP, then it breathes back down to my previous entry. I get in again. Lots of times it works, and I can TP twice. Because you're a degenerate, Michael. Okay, because you're a fucking degenerate. Now, good for you. I'm glad you're enjoying the rinse and repeat. But you are a true degenerate. I think you're almost up there with astrologer in going for the double dip. There's no double dip, right? You're doing the Costanza double dip. Exactly. But anyways, it's cool, right? Look at me, guys. Look how much calmer I am. I'm not, losing my shit every 5 minutes. Mainly because it's Friday too, and also because honestly, I'm really glad that I made up with my son. It really sucks to have family, especially stupid fucking family, fights over useless stuff. But he's 6'3", 220 pounds. He could crush a walnut with his hand, but he is such a sensitive kid. I mean, he really is. We always kid around that the sexes got mixed up in our family. My daughter is ruthless. Him, super sensitive. Wow, Paulie, what are you doing? Tell us. It's not poly. I'm sorry. It's not poly. Estrogen. Yeah, exactly. That's it. We're the degenerate club. You know, we need to make T-shirts. It says degenerates. Kathy hates that. Kathy hates, like, you know, when I use that, because she's like, you know, you're diluting the brand. You're making fun of us. I'm like, no, Kay, you know, you're just not in my room. Oh, look at this. We're getting a counter trend dot. This is really interesting. So we obviously, you know, peaked out at the 500. Not a surprise. What's interesting here is, remember, look at the pull away. The pull away is a 78% trade, right? So if we bust the buy block and we start printing a purple candle, we absolutely want to play that trade. We'll see. I am definitely, you know, that's 100% true. 100% true, Michael. So just watching a little bit of price action, very, very nice, you know, clean move. Now, yeah, for those of you guys who are like true momentum, like Paul D, what were you doing? Were you using the dots like for a very long structured trade? Because obviously, if you're using dots for, you know, you have the buy a block. You had a beautiful, beautiful long move here from 350. Yes, I know you could have made $1 million looking at the back of the chart. It's not that you can't use the dots for that purpose, and there are a lot of guys in the room that do. It's just a matter of what is your personality, what can you do, how long can you hold for, and all of those things that create a completely different, you know, structure of what we're doing. All right, we're getting a purple dot, guys. Although I will say, this is the one thing I'm gonna hold off on. I'll tell you why. There's two things. Remember, this is a 78% trade, but it's 78% trade when you got the sell block behind it and you got a red dot, and you have like 1 out of 3 conditions here. So I'm not going to pull the trigger on this thing. It's plenty. You know, if it's gonna do this up and down, there's plenty of opportunity. Remember, we make all our money on this one. Ultimately, on this one wave. That's literally all we do. Is we see this, it's the amplitude. If we have a 20, 30 point amplitude on these waves, we are golden. We can always coast them. There's no way we can lose money if we have this. Where we die is this little here, where there's no freaking waves at all. So all of the other stuff that we kind of do is really footnotes to the underlying idea that we want those big waves. So here's a big wave that totally made money, and you know, we'll see if we get, you know, more waves coming up in the future. Use the dots on the pullbacks. Awesome, good for you, Paul. It's great. You know, feel free to kind of, if you have just in bullet points, maybe describe your strategy, because there are a lot of guys in the room, I'm sure, or not a lot, but the few that are not complete degenerates, that could probably, you know, would love to hear the most interesting thing. I'm curious what you were doing is, tell me this, your entries, and then were you scaling out of positions? Were you just simply using, like, you just holding without any target and you were just waiting until the trend ended? Like, what kind of techniques you were using? And it, by the way, it's in no way, shape, or form something that anybody who's listening should be using. It's, the question is, if you have the personality for those to use those techniques, then you can do it. But knowing those techniques is kind of interesting, right? So tell us a little bit about what you did. It's Share Your Story Friday today. Again, not taking this purple, guys. I got no sell block, which is the most dominant thing. The thing that turns this into a 78% trade is the sell block. Without it, it's still good, but this adds like 3 or 4 points of consistency to the trade. And I don't have a red dot. It's a purple dot. So we're coming off the highs. So fine. If they want to take the profits off the 525, they're going to churn it. And, they'll be like, or if they're going to waterfall this thing, it's going to waterfall to 400. So we'll try to take a piece out of it when and if it meets our criteria. Okay, he says he pulled the fib on a 9:30 1-minute candle, enter at 70% line, and target. Sorry, target. It's not clear, Paulie. Target -1. I don't understand what's -1 mean. You're basically getting into a 70% retrace on the. If you could explain what target -1 means, that'd be really helpful. But otherwise, it's really super interesting. All right. Again, the pull away has a red dot, but no sell block. I'm just going to wait for the sell block. It will appear soon enough. Oh, one standard deviation scaled up to 5 contracts at the fib level. Okay, cool. All right. We will. I'll. Am I gonna get in there? No. Come. Get me done. No, I didn't get done, guys. Cancel all. Sorry. I was trying to get cute. No trade. You either take I should have just dove in market here for the continuity trade now. So now we're getting the sell block. Okay, so fine. If this is going to be, as I said, if this is going to be a waterfall dump, there'll be more. There'll be more pull away trades. I really did want to get into this pull away trade, but didn't get a chance. It's fine. Right now we have the sell block operating, and market obviously sold off, a little bit of retrace. Now we'll see if they really want to start pulling to the downside. We get more pull away trades. We'll try to trade those. Dots gave you the confidence to stay in the trade. Nice. Kifa, you're new here. Okay. Actually, let me, for those, I forgot to, and guys, over the weekend, I'm really going to try it. Next week, we're going to go to a new format where we're going to spend every live session going step by step. I'm going to visualize every one of of all of these ideas, chart by chart by chart. Oh, look at this, the sell block getting busted. So, not the retrace move was pretty shallow so far. So I will explain it, but if you want to get a general idea of what we do, here's let me pull up the links here. I'm going to give you the ICT block links and you can see them. I'm going to put together everything into a BK playbook, Dots playbook. We're going to update the Dots playbook with all the new ideas that we have in here. Okay, so here's the link. Let me show this to you. And I will post the link for you in the thing. That's great. That's great, Paul. Do me a favor, if you have screenshots that you took, or if you can make screenshots, email them to me at contact@bktraders.com. I'd love to see visually exactly what you were doing. But I'm really glad that was very helpful. All right, the sell block got busted down, but we're still negative. Like this is I would take this trade. It's a red dot, pull away trade, 2 out of 3. If this stays a pull away trade, I'll take it. It's interesting that this is purple here, but not purple here. I wonder why Wealth Charts is not coloring this the same. I noticed that Wealth Charts sometimes will not color the things properly. 21 seconds left. We're going to wait for this close. Oh, I just went to let's see how this trades. Oh, I think it's because where the 8 SMA is, it looks like it touched. That's the thing. It touched the 8 SMA. I probably would short this thing, but well, I'm gonna let the I'm gonna be a little bit more conservative on the thing. This is a very. I mean, I knew this was going to be a good short. If you understand what makes this, purple or not, it's basically the extension away from the moving average, and you could tell that there was a lot of momentum to the downside on this thing. I wonder if this was going to be as good a trade as the other one. We'll see. But we're going to take it, win, lose, or draw. We're going to take this trade because it's a good trade within our setup structure. Although the true trade was right here. That was the easy trade. Actually, no, never. Yeah, I guess I should take it, but I guess we got done. Okay, cool. I took a very, very quick 5-point scalp on that. But I didn't love this trade because it is very vulnerable to a retrace because this was a red dot trade beforehand. I mean, the reason why this trade wasn't purple was because at the very last second, the moving average. Let me show this to you on the chart. Although now we're reestablishing a sell block, so it's perfect. Which means if they're really going to reverse this move, there'll be 4 or 5 candles, out of which we can pick an opportunity for us to trade. By the way, you guys noticing how accurate we are on trading today? The pull away is a very, very specific version of the perfect dot, in a sense that you sort of, you have like 3 components here. You have the sell block, you have the color, which is a function of the fact that it doesn't touch the moving average, and you have the dot, which is a function of the fact that it's landing on its lows or highs. So you have 3 components. It's a minor distinction, but yeah, generally, no, not a trade. Again, oh, sorry. And the other thing is, it's not that it's and this is, by the way, my own rule, but you guys, if you're a momentum hunter, you could discount that rule. Like, in other words, in this particular case, you have the color, the dot, the sell block, right? The thing that keeps me from trading it is that I need the prior candle to be non-momentum, right? But you could have 3 or 4 momentum candles together. Like, usually the best trades are actually all of these 3 purples together, 3 whites together. When you get a strong momentum, right? That's the easiest, greatest trade in the world. I just have a hard time, selling the lows on a continuity basis. But this is in fact the perfect continuity trade. This is in fact the perfect continuity trade, right? If you think about this. Yeah, trust in the dots. Exactly. When they all cluster together, that's actually the perfect move. I mean, this is what you would call the one trade gets funded move, right? Because you have a unidirectional, like you start from 53 and the move doesn't end till like 19, right? And if you're trading 2 minis at 30 points, you are funded twice over in that move. The problem is you really have to believe that move is kind of, you got to believe that this is going to be happening. You got to anticipate the move. It's not, once the move has happened, you're too late already for the continuity. Oh, okay. Hang on a second. I'm yapping, but we're actually setting up a potential setup for me, which is pause, continuity, pause continuity. I know that English is going to tell everybody that we're coming close to the VWAP at over here, so we might be looking to do a VWAP bounce. Good morning. Who's new in the room here? Who's new and confused? Who's dazed and confused? Come talk to me. I know it's a lot. It's a lot. I threw out a lot at the people who trade with me every day. So I can imagine the people who are new here must be just completely like, what the fuck is going on? But trust me, once you kind of absorb all the information, it's really, really useful. It really helps you have the edge on a minute by minute basis. VWAP, yes, there you go. English. I was like, we need the English indicator where it comes close to VWAP. He notifies all of us, because that was actually a very nice bounce, right? It was like a clean VWAP bounce. VWAP bounce. Not a trade, by the way, in any way, shape, or form. Oh, finding a little bit of support here, a little bit of range bound. Oh, you know what? I didn't even look at what was the PMI data? How did Chicago do? Oh, I think we can look at it over here. I love the fact that you can have the applet right in here. Wait, why is this? I want to go to calendar. Look at Canadian GDP. Ugh. Chicago PMI was much better. Again, guys, I keep harping on this. Manufacturing, I know manufacturing is not a big deal in the overall U.S. economy, but it is a big deal as a subcomponent of why the U.S. economy is much stronger than people think it is. The onshoring is really, really going to make a difference. All right, we are developing a possible sell for us. We're getting the pull away candle, although this is disappearing now. But oh wow, I just had like caffeine gum with a triple espresso. That is quite a feeling. You really get the rush. No signal, guys. Just sitting tight, no signal. Which, by the way, like, you notice when we had the signals, we took them. We don't have the signals, we don't take them. We're not dicking around, Unfortunately, this goes through the moving average, so not a pull away trade. But actually, fuck. I really would have sold this. I will. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait patiently for my setup. But I actually really like. The other thing is when you start to realize the dynamics of the price action, you can anticipate the moves. Like this was an obviously good move. Because what is this? What are we doing here? We're trading momentum. Yes, it hit the moving average, but it went right down to the lows. It was an obvious good sell. Okay, now it's a pretty good sell over here, but not as good a sell as it was before, where the momentum was really there. Excuse me. We are hitting fresh session lows. We're basically unwound the whole 500 rally down below the 400 move. So we got 13 seconds. That trade disappears, but this trade was like really in play. All right, let's see where it goes. All right, I'm short, and I'm probably going to get a read. No, I got lucky. Okay, more continuity. Yeah, more continuity. Now there's actually a lot more continuity, but I'm making fresh session lows. But you guys see what you see what I'm seeing on the charts. You see the price action as it's developing. It's literally just kind of communicating to you within the moment with all of the indicators and the statistical overlays what's happening in visual form. And is the faster you're able to read it, the more you can capitalize on it. Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. Come join us on. Come join us on Monday. Speedballing? What do you mean, Ken? Astrology, what are you talking about going to new highs? Are you saying after this we're going to go to new highs? Or was that like well, no, it's the 1021 comment. We're going to new lows, baby, right now. Anyways, I hope you guys caught that move because that was literally just right then and there. It was just, super obvious for anyone to take. Give me a +1 if you guys caught the move. I just want to see if you're getting to understand the momentum flow read. We're going to bounce here. Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. We'll see. I'll tell you what, if we're going to bounce, the dots are going to tell me the story. I will be happy to ride those babies once we get there. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm leaving a lot of profit on the table. I know. I don't care. It's not that I don't care that I'm leaving a lot of profit on the table. It's just that I know that right now I'm trading in the perfect way that I like to trade. Quick resolve. Like I like to hunt, kill, do it again. Hunt, kill, do it again. I don't like to stalk and wait and then, watch the prey get tired, and then eventually, die, and I collect my food. I need instant gratification. That's just simply my personality. And so you don't have to trade the way I do at all. But don't think that I'm not aware of the fact that, yes, there was like 30 more points of profit on the table here. There was 30 more points of profit on the table here. I don't care. That's not my objective. Kyriakos, 650. Plus one plus. I thought the 650 was your P&L. Oh, my coaching is going to be Thursday, my friend. Thursday. I'll send out the link. By the way, guys, it's still in the queue because we like a million other projects to do. But yes, we're going to go back to Discord. I'm going to go back into the seventh circle of hell of scammers and crypto con artists who are going to try and steal your money. But we are going to open up Discord because it is obviously so useful. And when we do, it's going to be a lot easier for all the VIP memberships because I'm not going to need a special link and everything else. We will just simply, we'll have a private VIP room where we'll do webinars inside of that room. It'll be a lot easier for everybody to hang out. But yes, that's in the queue. If you are stupid enough to ever give anybody money, especially to give me money, please, I'm begging you to do this right now. I'm gonna make that announcement every day for the rest of my life when we're in live now. Once we open up Discord, there's going to be a whole bunch of people who are going to pretend that they're us. We're gonna do the best we can to get rid of them, but they are like rats. They don't disappear, and they're going to tell you crypto stories and money stories and all sorts of shit that we're going to manage money for you. We never manage money. We never ever ask you for money. So please don't ever give anybody any money. And if you ever have any doubt, just ask me. And I'll tell you that it's 99.9% of the time it's complete bullshit. Astrologist says we're going to bounce off this support to run to fresh session highs. Well, we're certainly making a bounce. We're certainly making a pause. Still not a great hour for reversal trades, right? Remember, the WG trade is essentially a retrace or reversal trade, and the odds are not with us. So if we get a white dot, green dot, we're not going to take it. We may not fade it because we're obviously at the lows, but we're not going to take it. Trying to test the double bottom lows here at the 3,300. Are you guys not impressed at like how NASDAQ sliced through the 30,000 and just like hasn't even looked back? Just keep on buying, baby. I really feel like, you know what this has been? This is 2026. Maybe like in the history books, this is how people are going to look at it. But from an investment point of view, human beings stopped mattering in 2026. If you think about like, why are the stock markets up when you have Iran, oil situation, everybody's miserable, inflationary pressures? Is because we actually stopped mattering as inputs in the economic activity. The market now is basically pricing in that the future is robots. Robots don't give a shit about geopolitics. They work through anything. and they're the productivity. They're the productivity mavens, and I you know, I'm being facetious, obviously, but I think there's like a lot of truth to that. In a sense that basically investors have decided human beings no longer matter in the history of humanity. It's really the history of humanity is going to be written by machines, and machines are just much better, much more functional, and much more productive. And that's where the bet is at, you know? Tell me I'm wrong. Oh, I actually have a fun thing to share with you guys. Well, only a fun thing if you're a complete and total nerd. But I'm just going to watch the price action a little bit to see if we have another setup right now, because I don't want to do my usual. Let me distract myself. But I'm going to find this link for you guys. You will enjoy it. Well, the nerds amongst you will enjoy it. I'm watching for a pull away trade here. Right now, I got nothing. Pretty choppy, very, very quiet price action here, guys. Here it is. Okay, let me I'll share this with you since it's quiet. This is like, I literally got bored. The girls were away, so I had like a whole weekend to myself, and I had like this conversation with Claude about quantum physics, quantum computing. You know, Max Tegmark's whole idea of multiple universes. And then what was the last thing that we talked about? Oh, and capitalism and communism. So there you go. If you really want to go into the weeds, enjoy this conversation. It's really interesting at how intelligent the AI was in this conversation. I wonder if you guys can actually. Is this link going to work? No, it's not going to work over here. I gotta hang on a second. What is this? Okay, let's go back to the charts. Let's see if there's anything else. Maybe setting up more downside price action. Let's see. If we get a pull away candle, it's definitely going to be a setup. Here's the link. If you really, really want to geek yourself out. But it's a really interesting conversation about the nature of reality and everything else. Still no trades. Trying to test the lows a little bit. London low. Where's the London low, actually? This is the New York low. Where are the London lows? Oh, London low is around 285. So we're still quite away. We're basically just testing the London high here. We're coming into the London high for a double bottom test. The sell block is still operating, still the operating condition here. Now we're getting the trade. Bad execution. I knew it was going to retrace on against me. Come on, baby, come. Too much momentum on the downside. It's got to come down, and I don't have a big enough stop on this thing. I'm almost certain this is going to be a more selling or into. I sold right into the double bottom. So yeah, it's going to tag me out. Damn, that sucks. You just know that it was like falling momentum, and then it just didn't have enough extension here. Come on, no. It's going to take me out. All right, I'm going to eat my. Wait a minute. Did we survive that? Oh my God, did we survive that? Holy shit, unbelievable. Did you see that? That was insanely close to how close we came to the stop. It just goes to show you just how much downside momentum there was. Wow. Yeah, you may be right. We broke the double bottom here mildly, but we broke it. Oh, that was like so close, right? I was absolutely certain that it was going to tag my stop. I think it came within like a tick or two of the stop. But I mean, the structural trade, the really correct trade, I just simply didn't want to risk that much space, was against the high over here, right? Short against the high over here, but how much continuity there wasn't that much continuity. So there was enough continuity for us to make the clip. Again, so much a matter of style, right? If you're a guy who's like long-term holding, you're holding against this sell block. You may have been short here, and you're just patiently waiting. You don't care. You're just holding this position, and against the sell block as your stop, and you're just waiting to milk it all the way down. And you're probably going to be very well rewarded for that. By the way, another setup for me right now. Fresh selling, certainly worth a shot here. Assuming it holds. Boom, done. Done and done and done and done. And getting very close to the $200 target, which is where I need to be. Good job, everybody who's focused like a laser beam on the entry. Who likes this new approach? Who's enjoying? I like this new approach. I'll be the first one to say I like it. It fits my style. But just generally, as a, and you don't have to trade like me. But even if you're trading positionally, I think it's got to be helping you, right? Is this helping you guys? Another sell block in the making. now, that was really stunned. Now, they were really just completely unwinding. I mean, it was, the beautiful thing is, think about this, guys. The whole 10 o'clock hour or 9 o'clock hour, we were buying longs. The whole 10 o'clock hour, we were selling shorts. And we didn't have a view of like, oh, the market is going to all-time highs or the market is coming back down to all-time. We had no fucking idea of where the market was going the next minute. But we rode both ways because we had the structure to do this. Like, that is so cool. It's just so cool to, to have the structure. Now we're just doing the multiple dots, the 40, 50, point sell-off. And like that. Now we're just, Kyriakos was right. We took out all of the London liquidity. We're like right through the London liquidity and everywhere else. Now the big question is, are we going to do a little bit of a counter trend pause here? Are we going to start to build a base here for a reversal move back up to maybe the 400, 500? We'll see. But this is a pretty serious reversal. It's the sellers definitely. You feel like basically the buyers bought the 500 and now they're just really, really sorry. $1,600. Good job, my friend. What'd you do? Tell us how you traded it, and tell me the dots helped you. Otherwise, I don't want to hear. No, I'm just kidding you. Tell me how you traded it. Let us know. How to avoid late when scalping. Well, we have a very, very specific structure, right? We wait for a certain candle composition. We wait for the candle close. We hit the buy and the sell button right away, and I have a very, very tight target, right? So we usually we want to get done. Like the way I'm trading, I want to get done. There's 100 different ways. If that's not your style, if you don't like, you do have to have timing and zoned and focus. If you don't want to do that, then what you should be doing is something completely different, which is you have the same structure, but you're taking a much wider, bigger, longer position. You're looking for 20, 30, 40 points against maybe a 40-point stop, and you're going to be in those candles for sometimes 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. It all depends on how you you like to trade. We provide the structure, we provide the analytics to give you the timing. Where you want to do with that, very much your own thing. And and very much your own thing on sizing. I use small size because if I'm wrong, I can come back with larger size at a different time, same setup, repair everything, and bring all of my P&Ls forward. Right? I have a very specific prop trading approach to what I want to do. I want to take every one of my accounts that are funded accounts to the next $100 level, and then if I get them all that way, I'll work on the next 100. Like, I'll give you an example. Here's an example of, maybe I guess I should show you here. Since we don't have any setups right now, let me show this to you. Okay, so this is Tradingview, right? This account was 50,100, or a variation of 100 earlier this morning. I took it to 200. This one, I haven't traded this one today, but yesterday this was at 400. I took it to 500. This one I'm going to try and take to 100, right? That's what I do all day long, every day. And then we go to well charts. Oh, hang on a second. This is just my own approach of how I trade. Then we go to well charts, right? And this account was below at 700 something. We took it to 800. This account was at 690, whatever. We took it to 700. This account was at 180. It was at like 120. We're going to try and take it to 52, 200. Once we get there, we just start the whole cycle all over again. You take my white dot or red dot and keep until you see the opposite dot. That's a way. There's who was it? Who traded that? Where are my Russians at? There was a Russian. Oh, in my group, we used to do that all the time. Used to. I see. So you have an initial balance strategy. You take the dot. You just ride it. The dot becomes your momentum. You took the long and exit at the high and enter again. Short until London. You trade 100K accounts. Great. Yeah, possible turn here, Ben. We'll you know, if it happens, it happens. We're not gonna anticipate the turn anymore. So yeah, that's a very legit kind of approach. A lot of people like to trade this. So you take the first dot and you just keep on doing it until the dots disappear, right? I noticed, by the way, like if you look at the concentration of dots, right? A good way to trade a momentum slice. Yeah, no setup. The slope is definitely, we have a turn on the slope here. We're not even close to, I mean, you could take a gamble that this is the session low, which is fine. You could take that gamble. It'll work. You know what's going to be fun right now? You know what's going to be interesting right now, guys? So here we go. So 10:50. We're still in the 11 o'clock hour. Still the shitty hour for white dot, green dot, right? Because what I'm going to try and do right now, this is going to be a true test of statistics. I may eat this, but it's fine. It's going to be small size, so it doesn't matter. I didn't get a chance. I was going to say, if we get a white dot, green dot, but then again, I need to make sure that it's not a if it's a green dot that's a pull away candle, I have to trade the pull away trade. But if it's a white dot, green dot, and not a pull away sequence, we're going to fade it. We're going to fade it on the assumption this is the 11 o'clock hour. It's still a fadeable strategy. And see, here we go. Here comes the big reversal. I mean, you weren't wrong, Ben, that we were turning. Although this looks more like more like news. What's up? Is this news? Is something happening? Let's see. I feel like Trump administration exposed to propose a change in the U.S. Mexico, blah, blah, blah. No. New proposal was USMCA. None of this shit is news. $10.18, $10.17. No. I don't see anything over here. Real part economy is not doing well. All right. Nope. All right. So no, it's just a big reversal move here. Okay, white dot, green dot. We're gonna fade this. If this turns into a green dot, we're gonna fade this. See if the statistics bear us out. Hey Chris, what news? See, now this is what kills me. Is that this is a white dot, green dot, but this is also a pull away candle, right? Although it doesn't have a doesn't have a buy block underneath it. So this is like a hard decision. Do I want to fade this or do I want to trade this? I probably will do neither because I'm a little bit conflicted. But push comes to shove, I'm going to take the bet that this is going to be more fadeable than tradable right now. Let's see. I'm going to fade this, weighing. Doesn't even let me fade it. You see, it fades off the highs and doesn't even let me fade it. If you're super aggressive, you can do what astrology does sometimes. You can do intra candle trading. So like intra candle, you saw the white dot. You're like, okay, I don't think it's going to hold the highs. It's going to fade. And if you faded over here, would have been an easy scalp to the other side. But that's advanced degenerate techniques, right, astrologer? Trump, the naval blockade will now be lifted. Wow. Okay. I feel like at this point, nobody gives a shit about Iran at this point. Oh, this Top Step has a news feed, Chris. They have like a Reuters news feed or something. I gotta see where I can pull it. Astrology says absolutely. All right, guys, look at this. I almost made it to the 11 o'clock hour today with you guys. We're gonna let's hang a little bit more. It's been a really good, fun trading session. We're having a good time. It's called Trader Hub if you have Top Step X. Okay, yeah. We don't trade Top Step. I'm actually curious. It's a typical Friday question. Just type it in. I'm not even gonna do a survey. Just curious. Okay, here we go. Ooh, very interesting. Legit sell. Let's see if it's gonna work. Maybe not. No, we're really extending now. Look at that. Look at me doubting my own setup. Look at me being a little pussy and doubting my own setup. It works like a charm. All right. Very good, guys. It did work. I mean, it really stressed me a little bit, but it did work. It's fine. Now we're actually getting in the pull away candle, which is what I'm actually, the thing is, we are at the transition time, and I don't know what the 11 o'clock hour is going to show me. And I kind of don't want to trade this like the last 5 minutes of the hour because I just don't know what the stats are. They probably are in my favor. This would have worked, had I flipped the other way. It would have worked, but I'll give up the opportunity just because I'm curious to know what the 11 o'clock hour stats are. So we will wait the 2 minutes to see what the stats are. Trump is going into the situation room to make a decision now. All right, Ben. It actually means, by the way, guys, like, don't get into complacent. What if he just, he comes in there, he says, no, these fuckers are not coming to the deal, bomb the shit out of them. That's going to be a 300-point down candle in one trade. So I would not be complacent. It's just a typical Friday thing to happen, right? I mean, he's so unpredictable. He could easily change his mind. Yes, Apex funded it. Great product. We trade it all the time. Super inexpensive. The best place in the world if you want to learn how to trade. John is asking, you see Tradingview wealth charts. Either one is good. We like wealth charts because it's the most integrated. No, Rhythmic is. It's just that I have a more advanced version of the same indicator on TradingView than on wealth chart. We're actually trading wealth charts, but using the indicator on TradingView. That's all. That's why I have a split screen. but either one is good. You know, we like wealth charts. It's got a whole bunch of new stuff here. Here's my fade. Where did I fade it? I didn't fade. I don't have a fade yet. Well, where would I get the fade, Ben? I don't have a fade set up. The stock market is rigged. Dude, man, life is rigged, right? I mean, if life wasn't rigged, we'd never die, right? $11 o'clock. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! This is why I really. This is why it's really important to wait for the roll. Look at the rollover. Look what's happening now. Now the pull away dies as a concept, and white greens are much more attractive to us. Pretty cool, right? I held off, Ben, because I wanted to see the new data, the 11 o'clock data. This actually was not a fade. This was a fade. We faded over here. Let me show you the trade, Ben. The trade was here. The trade was on. This was the fade. It stretched me out all the way up, and then actually made me, banked me out, right? So, by the way, if the pull away trade sucks, right? If the purple and the white candles don't have continuity, then if we get 2 or 3 of those together, what's our trade? We're gonna buy the purples, sell the whites. It becomes a fade trade for us because this is a pretty weak continuity signal, which means it's a decent discontinuity signal. But in the meantime, white dot, green dot, or purple dot, red dot is the trades we want to be making. Here comes the white dot. Here comes the king. Nope, no, the white dots. Just missed the extension. It's fine. English, we're just hitting our head against the VWAP. Did you say? Oh, English called it like about 20 minutes ago when he was saying there's going to be mean reversion towards the VWAP, and then Ben was saying we're starting to turn. Like all these blue candles were the early indicator for a turn. Those of you guys who like to trade the turn, this was the money trade. And by the way, the best turn is always that 10:30 to 11:30 time frame. That's when the turns have the greatest amount of capacity, have the best risk reward ratios. It's like 100 different ways we could do it on the charts here. Let's wait. I got a little quiet here, guys. Yep, consolidating. I got to tell you, man, usually Friday is the shittiest. So how many times have I blown up on Friday? How many accounts have I blown up on Friday? Right? I think like in the history of all Fridays, today's got to be the most robust Friday I've ever traded. I didn't get swayed by counter trend flows. I didn't fucking tilt. I didn't try to, reverse my trades mid trend, right? I mean, today has been a really, really, it's not been exciting. It's not been glamorous. It's not been 1,000 points in a single trade type of thing, but it's been the most workmanlike, session we've had in a long time. Really interesting, right? Once we put the stats around, kind of totally anchored me. Yeah, next Friday NFP. I think I'm gonna invite Sam. I really want to trade with Sam because I want to trade the volume, and I want to trade my order blocks post NFPs. Wealth charts is much easier to manage multiple accounts. Not just much easier. So, John, here's the key distinction of why wealth charts might be a better solution for you. You can have 3, 4, 5 browsers open at the same time with wealth charts under different accounts. With TradingView and Tradivate, only one browser window open. It really, really fucks you up when you want to do multiple accounts because you have to do everything through a single browser window. If you have, like me, if you have like 6 screens open and you want to, distribute all your browsers and trade different accounts, different screens, then the solution is wealth charts, right? Do you guys agree? Anybody disagree with my assessment of like the multiple accounts? I don't think it's a no-brainer. If you're trading single account, and you like, and it's beautiful charts and everything else, TradingView is your choice. Am I right, guys? Oh shit, guys, I'm sleeping. Purple dot, red dot. We got to trade this. Let's see. Nah, maybe not. I'm going to eat this one. All right, but it was a legitimate trade. 77% legitimate trade. Purple dot, red dot just did not materialize. All right, it's fine. Maybe we're just in choppy zone. So we'll reconfigure back to the white dot, green dot if it happens. Yeah, astrologer says, well, charts is the bomb. So we kind of, I think, not surprising. I took a quick stop on that one because it just look at where we're at. We're basically kissing the view app. There is zero movement right now. But if we break out of this range, whichever way we want to go, whether it's going to be white dot, green dot, or and by the way, here's the thing about like the continuity trade. Imagine we get another candle that is a red dot, right? Like right now. Like right now, we're not going to get, but like if it was, I would have gone again because that whole pattern still stays in place. It's just simply, the first trade failed. Okay, here we go. White dot, green dot. Hopefully, get the white dot first. See if we can get a green dot sequence. Or we're just going to sit here and twiddle our thumbs for the next half hour because it's not moving. Wealth charts runs, my main BFF indicator, yes. Okay, here comes the green dot, 43 seconds left. All right, let's see if we can do it. Trying to stay patient. And there we go. There we go. Game, set, match. Very nice, guys. Very nice, very nice, very nice. I still have a little bit to go to make it to 200. And, I may trade a little bit later today, but pretty good session. How's everybody's day today? Pretty good? So I'm going to try over the weekend to, one, get the data set as deep as possible for the month of May. Put all the statistics into the indicator. By the way, look at this. Now we're going to go. Just for those of you who are like longer term holders, this is your money. This is your money. You are in the money. And then I'm going to make a UTC conversion function so that everybody can have this data normalized to their personal charts. And yeah, GC was crazy good. It really was. I mean, Keith, I noticed that by the way, all of these rules work like charm on gold. It's just that, me, I can't focus on two things at once, right? I am like, but gold, I'm sure must have been, I don't know. Did you have a great trade on gold using all of the techniques that I showed you? I can imagine. I can imagine. This is the Trump news reaction. What is he saying? Is there more Trump? Is he? Do we have new news for that reaction here, or? Kazakhstan offers to take Iran's uranium stockpile. Write your own Borat jokes accordingly. I mean, that's funny. I need to get in touch with my feminine side. Yeah, fuck that, Keith. I think you could say I am straight up the least sensitive person you know, right? Dude, I'm Russian. Anyways, look at that. Look at that ramp, by the way. Look at the buy blocks. Look at all the movement. Really, really nice, right? Really, really broke out. Yes, the news confirms, or the news creates the price action. But we're able to read the price action again as it develops. So, it's great to have the news on our side, but the point is that the price action is basically the price action is confirming the news to us, and we can ride that without having to know the full news impact. Yeah. Although, John, if you really want the BFF, let me give you the what you want is you want the coaching. Let me give you the link to coaching. You want this whole thing for at least 6 months, so you could have like full knowledge base of all the techniques and tools. So it's another thing that I'm going to revamp soon. But yeah. Anyways, I want at least 5+1s before I make this change, this statistical table change, to motivate me for this weekend to have to recode this thing. Okay. Give me 5+1s for the end of the day here before we go away. Look at these beautiful order block trades. Order block with just like, if you were structurally based, if you were trading a true swing term continuation, the order block here with a swing here, right? That would have that went all the way here. The reversal order block over here with the nice big moves over here. Really, really nice. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. You're my favorite fans. I know I sound like an old antiquated chauvinist pig, but I really love having ladies in my room who are all trading really well. Thank you, Carolina. Thank you, Laura. Thank you very much. All right, I promise you, I will have this done over the weekend, and then Monday, you guys will have this fully configurable to your your UTC setting, hopefully. So it'll be really, really good. We actually have, oh, no. This is a fun thing. We actually, what do we have here, guys? We have a pull away trade. All right. Let me be degenerate once more. This is a pull away trade against a bad statistical number, right? Bad statistical number. So I want to fade this thing on the close. I'm going to try to fade this thing on the close against Trump news. Just let's see how bad I am against Trump news. I'm going to fade this, and let's see if I can survive it. And come, baby, come. I'm going to flatten out. Fuck it. I'm just going to flatten out because I don't want to trade it. But I'm sure it's going to work. It's going to work. I'm sure. There we go. Would have worked. And it would have just been enough to take me to 200. But yeah. Look at that. Stats plus dots. Look at the fade. Look at the full fade. Look at that full fade. I love making lemonade out of lemons. All right, I'm going to leave you. This is God. I'm going to torture you with this. All my children hate when I tell them this story because I've told them this 1,000 times. But I love the story because this is literally, I think, how you have to approach life. This is a very, very Russian view. So there are two frogs, both of them sitting in jars of milk, drowning, right? One frog says, "Oh, I can't get out. I'm just going to, sink to the bottom and die." And he gives up and he dies. The other frog just keeps beating his legs and beating his legs and beating his legs until he basically beats the milk, turns the milk into butter. So milk becomes solid, becomes butter. He stands up on the butter, jumps out of the jar. And I am always the frog that never stops kicking my legs. Okay? The reason I brought that up is because here is like a setup that fails, and we turn it into a winning setup, right? We know that the numbers fail, and we took the opposite of the setup and now turn it into a winning setup. I love that, I love that approach. Still not seeing why that was a fade. Okay, let me explain to you, Ben. The pull away number was 60, below break even. So it means it's a negative trade, right? So we want to fade the trade instead of making it a trade. Like, in other words, the statistics tell us, yeah, the pull away was bad. Correct. The pull away was bad. This was a pull away. It was really, really, first of all, it was also really, really stretched out, which is a perfect idea. The more stretched out it is, the lower its probability of success, the better it is to fade it, right? That's what it was. That's literally what it was. Yeah, so there you go. All right. Okay, now I've tortured you with my frog story. You guys can all have a good weekend. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Really, really a lot of fun trading with you guys. I'll have this ready for you guys Monday, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll. All right. Everybody enjoy. I'll see everybody then. Take care.